Once again, welcome, real one onlys fans. I hope y'all are doing okay out there. We are going to be talking about always a classic, 80s, 90s, but we're going to talk about this one, and this one is called Lethal Weapon.
Lethal
One of the
Weapon, baby. Like
man,
like
Lethal
like you
Weapon.
said, Ken, it should be called lethal saxophone, but that saxophone be hitting on that thing, boy. Yep, Lethal Weapon, man. Great 80s
Hmm.
buddy cop movie.
Buddy cop movie. And just to introduce ourselves again, once again, my name is Kenyatta Mitchell,
Yes.
host of the Real Ones Only.
I'm Joel Brown, co-host of Real Ones Only.
Perfect, perfect. Like you said, 80s classic. It hits home. Um, man, we always have this discussion. It's like, is this a Christmas movie? It does take place during Christmas, so is it a Christmas movie? I feel like it's a Christmas movie, so
I
we're
don't
gonna
think so. Has to be.
no. Oh, man. Okay, okay, okay. All right, so feel like it's not a Christmas movie. He feels like I feel like it's a Christmas movie. He feel like it's not, but it's taking place during Christmas. So,
It is. It is.
all right. So, Joel, go ahead and break down the overview of this movie, man.
Yeah, man. So, this was released in 1987
Mm.
when Mel Gibson and Danny Glover seemed to be a little bit younger. This was a basic action buddy cop. I don't know, Ken, if they even make these kind of movies. I mean, let me correct me if I'm wrong. I don't
Hmm.
remember any, you had Tangle and Cash, you
Hmm.
had Lethal Weapon, you
Hmm.
had The Last Boy Scout.
Right.
You even had 48 hours, right?
Right.
So it's nothing like and don't forget the series Miami Vice, right?
Hmm.
So there was nothing like a 1980s gritty
Hmm.
two guys, cops partnering, stopping crime. It's so 80s.
Very
It's
80s. Very
so
80s.
80s, just two cops, insecure men talking bad about each other, got Riggs and Murtaugh, it's just but it's an amazing movie that kind of it's so classic action buddy 80s.
And you can tell it's the 80s too, because of all of the drugs.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
can
It
tell
was
it's the
that era
80s,
of
man.
saying no to drugs all
Hmm.
that time. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And
Yeah,
and
man.
and and you have, of course, Martin Riggs, who is played who Mel Gibson plays Martin Riggs.
Hmm.
And what is Lieutenant Murtaugh? What's his first name?
Raj.
Raj, that's right. Raj
Raj.
Murtaugh, played by
Hmm.
Danny Glover. And it was directed by Richard Donner, who was a
Mm.
famous director.
Right.
And so basically it is the start. They made sequels. They made it for Lethal
Hmm.
Weapons, and it is about a suicidal cop. Martin Riggs is like a suicidal cop, and excuse me, and Danny Glover, uh, 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 dang, what was his first name? Murtaugh. I forget.
Yeah, Raj. Raj.
Raj is a family man. He's a family man.
Hmm.
Matter of fact, I believe he in the movie he just turned 50, right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
he is a family man, very close to retirement. They're both experienced cops.
Hmm.
Riggs has been in the military. Murtaugh has been in the military, but he also is an experienced cop. They're both detective. They're both cops. They're both experienced, and so they in this one they're under they uncover a drug smuggling operation with
Right.
special forces and mercenaries. So what I
Correct.
love about the lethal weapons are it's never a simple criminal. It is always something bigger than the department, and then these
Hmm.
two gritty cops got to kind of bring it down, which is so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, man. So, like you said, you had Mel Gibson, who was like, man, he was. When I first time I saw this movie, I was like, I know these cops out here ain't being this reckless,
Yes.
especially when the part like just the first beginning where he's sitting down with the guys and they're like, he's undercover and he's like, hey, I got $100. I mean, I got, I'm gonna take all this off your hands for $100. $100. He's like, one, two, and it was like, man, we said
Yes.
$100,000.
1,000.
Yeah. Get this together here. 20, 40, 60, 70, 25. Hey, what the fuck? Hey, man. 85, 90. Hey! Come on, shut up, man. I'm losing count. Right.
So seeing his character, it was like, already reckless.
Yes,
He was a
yes,
reckless
yes.
person. It was like he really didn't care about life. We found
Mhm.
out later why he doesn't care about life because he lost his wife.
Yeah.
And it's like now his wife is gone. He has been living really on the edge
Yes.
and has not been, mentally there. You can see in the first couple of moments of the movie, like
Hmm.
he's not there. Like he's really not there. So we try to find out like what is causing him not to go off of that ledge,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the first thing about him. Like I said, he's highly skilled, but he's emotionally broken.
Hmm.
And then is it like, do you think he's brave or you think he's just crazy because of the situation? Because he puts himself in situations where he doesn't need to be, but he takes that angle of I'm brave because I don't care about my life,
Hmm.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I don't think he's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He just needs someone to love. And I think
Mm,
we're gonna talk about it a little bit later because
right.
like Roger, his and I don't want to spoil it, but he becomes his family,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And it becomes more than about him. There's more to do. That he can love again, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be his wife. And so I don't think he was crazy. I do think he was suicidal, right? He
Mm-hmm.
he did not want to live. And even like you mentioned how reckless he was with the drug bust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Though he was undercover and though he was being watched, when the guy took him at gunpoint, he was like, shoot me, no, shoot me. Like he's a kid in the candy store. Like,
Shut up! Shoot! Shut up! Shoot! Shut up! Shoot him! Come on, hit him! You want us? Hit him out.
like
Mm-hmm.
he didn't have he couldn't take his own life. And he tells
Mm-hmm.
Raj later, that it's the job, right? But I think it's more than that too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but he cannot do it himself. He wants somebody
Right.
to do it. Um, so yeah, I don't think he was crazy. The
I don't
brother
think he was
just
crazy either.
no, because you realize in part two and three and four, he's no longer like that. They still have problems, but he's
Mm-hmm.
still no longer suicidal. Even at the end of part one, he's no longer suicidal.
Right, right. And then now, since we're gonna talk about,
Okay.
um, Mel Gibson's character, which is, Riggs. Now we're gonna
Hmm.
talk about, a little bit more in depth into Roger
Okay.
Murtaugh,
Hmm.
played by Danny Glover. Uh,
Yes.
what his experiences is in the movie is that we see that he's family first, right?
Yes.
He's focused on family. You can tell he's focused on family
Hmm.
because when his scene comes up, he's in the tub
Yeah,
with with that slavery beard on, and then
he did.
and then the family
Mhm.
oriented, regardless of anything. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, blah 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 blah. He, like you said, he's a very experienced cop as well. But what I've noticed is that if you go back and look at the movie, he has had many partners as well.
I didn't know this that until
Hmm.
yes, he has.
Right. If you go back and look, when I guess one of the other detectives is talking about him, excuse me, he's like telling him like, man, you done had like a bunch of partners. You know what I'm saying? Don't you
Mhm.
think you need to probably slow down or whatever? He's like, man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, he was like, yeah, you about to have a partner. And he was like, who?
Mhm. Mhm.
And all of a sudden, it's Riggs flipping him over.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying in that scene, gun.
Mm.
And it's really
Raj, meet your new partner.
I'm too old for this.
and
He's like, I'm
it's
too
really
old for this.
his
His old
partner. You know what I'm
behind.
saying? And his famous slogan is always, "I'm too old for this." You know what I'm saying? So he's like, that person that's gonna be a grounded person for Riggs. When when you see through different situations out throughout the movie, um, it's gonna be very crazy when we talk about a little bit further or like later on the line about the experiences between him and Murtaugh when it comes down to this whole movie. The villains. Now, the two villains in this movie, you have Joshua, played by Gary Busey, and
Gary.
you also have, oh Lord, he's crazy. And then General McAllister, which is played by
Yep.
Mitchell
Mitchell
Ryan.
Ryan. Yep.
So they're two cold, calculated, and very personal villains in this movie. It's like McAllister is the head person in charge, and then Joshua is like the pit bull that he chases people, that he sticks
Mm-hmm.
to people on,
Mm-hmm.
um, basically, what you also see is that Joshua kind of mirrors
Yes.
Riggs,
Yes, he
but not
does.
with the craziness, but just mirrors
Yes.
Riggs because of the discipline and the military action that you see.
Yes. Yes.
So that's what you're gonna see in the movie as well.
And
Um,
let me stop. Let me say something real quick. In these
mhm,
80s movies, the villains and the heroes always have something personal in the comic. We both
mm,
special. Well, we went to college together, or we went to the same service. So there was always something. There has to be something personal.
that makes them connect.
You went after my daughter. We're coming to get you. Down, down. That it's just so 80s, right? No one's going. Ken. No one's following procedure. No one's
Hmm.
doing reports. No one's writing up reports. They're saying, "Yeah, Raj Riggs, we're going to get him. They hurt my daughter. It's personal now. Dun dun. It's so 80s. No, they would be fired. They would be fired. They would be
Correct.
held. Internal affairs would be like, "Did you go after these guys
Hmm.
without reporting in?" It's so funny. But when you mention,
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But when you
No,
mention
no, you're
sort
good.
of the how they have something in common, it's so 80s. Because
Hmm.
the villain and the hero become personal. I'm going after him. Yeah. It's so 80s. I gotta get revenge. Like remember Rocky 4?
Hmm.
Drago, after Drago killed Apollo, Rocky look at him like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's 80s. Van Damme,
80s
his
movie.
brother gets hurt. No, you hurt my brother. It's so 80s, man. Anyway, they know how to do it. That's Lethal Weapon, man.
They know
That
how
was
to
Gary
do it.
Busey. Yes. That was
Oh
Joshua.
gosh. And he was so
Yes.
crazy. Like, who puts their hand over a lighter
Yes.
and
And you know what? These movies need to let you know that the villain is so bad they need to be killed.
hmm.
You know, you're right. You like the latter. Oh man, this dude is crazier than Riggs. It's just
But yeah, that's the thing you notice about in the movie. And then it's kind of
yes.
crazy because with the movie itself, you find out what's really going on. Like you said, it's about drug smuggling. But then
Mm-hmm.
also you find out that the friend of Raj,
Yes.
his daughter
Mm-hmm.
jumps out the window in the beginning of the movie. We find out why. It's because her drugs was laced.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, that's when it starts like it starts trickling down, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yes.
So one of the let me ask you this. Since we
Okay.
talked about Riggs and
Okay.
his mental stability, right?
Okay.
One of the first things that pops out in the movie is when they're doing their daily drive through,
Yes. They're
right?
rounds. Right.
Their rounds, right?
Right.
They get a call in saying, "Hey, we got a jumper on the building."
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So you see Riggs and Murtaugh, they come, and Murtaugh was like, "Hey, can you get him down?" He's like,
Yes.
"I can get him down.
No funny business.
No
Just
funny business. Just
right.
get him down." And you can see that Riggs was really trying his best to
Yeah.
get him down.
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah.
And it was like, okay, you want to take a smoke? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll take a smoke. The next thing you know, handcuffs him. Doom, 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 doom. He's like,
The
all right.
music. Yes.
Yeah. Then he's like, all right, cool. So all right, I already got you. Come on, let's get
Right.
off the roof.
Right.
Man, you're crazy. And then he's like, come on, man. You can do 10 to life or whatever. We can just leave. He keeps pushing back, pulling, pulling. And then all of a sudden, he snaps. Do
Yes.
you
Do
really
you
want to
really want
jump?
to jump?
I'm jumping!
Do you really want to jump? Do you want to? Well, then that's fine with me. Come on.
It was so. He wanted. He snapped. Yes, it was
He's not
another opportunity for him for his life to be taken.
correct, correct. And he was like, to that point, he was like, nah, I'm done talking with him. Okay, we're going to find out. Now, one of the hidden gems is that when they jump off the building, you can see the handcuffs break.
Yes.
The handcuffs break, and all of a sudden you see them both grabbing each other's hand as they're going
Yes.
down.
Yes.
And cinema's crazy. Magically, he
80s.
reappears with the handcuffs on. Oh, he's crazy. He's trying to kill me. Oh my gosh. And he's like, you want to go, you want to jump again? You want to jump again? Like his mom, he's like, he's crazy. But
Yeah.
he's it's a funny crazy to us.
It is a funny scene.
Because we're looking at it and we're like, oh my gosh, like this dude is funny as I don't know what. So now all of a sudden you see Murtaugh. What are you doing? He's
What do
like,
you do?
he's almost kind of like
And his ring's like, I got him down, didn't I? I got him down. Get over, get here. And it was so funny because he went into a building and he drags a painter out the way and he's getting this, slams the door. So it's like, it's funny, but it's almost like, what's the matter with you? Like,
Get in here!
right.
what's going on? Like, we're cops.
Yes, like
What
why
if
would
this
you
man,
even jump
yes,
with the civilian, knowing that he was so-called suicidal, the civilian, but you actually took him down, like you jumped out
yeah.
of the like seriously, like what made you do it? And what he said, you said if I got him down, he was down. I did my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That whole scene, it just shows that he was crazy. But at the same time, although he was crazy, he was like, I did my job. My
See,
job was done.
and see, that's another thing. Like, part of it is the job keeps him going.
Hmm.
He's like, he knows, Riggs knows procedure. He knows how to do things. He knows how to shoot. He's stable in those ways.
Hmm.
But deep down inside, he doesn't want to live because he every day he thinks about it, right?
Hmm.
And so when Murdoch was like, pull the trigger, put it in your mouth, I think, right? And the what I saw about the scene was when he was pulling the trigger, the hammer
It's
caught
coming back.
Murtaugh's finger. Like,
Hmm.
you really want, you really do want to. You're not trying to get a pension. You're not trying to. This
Correct.
is you're really messed up, man.
Hmm.
Put it in your mouth. Bullet might go through your ear and not kill you. Yeah, under the chin. Yeah, under the chin. Ow! You're not trying to draw a psycho pension. You really are crazy.
Hmm.
And this is what I loved about that scene and him going to his family, right? Murtaugh started to accept Riggs and help him and care and started to care about him. He
Hmm.
wanted to care about him. The thing about this, most likely other partners would have said, I can't work with him. He's unstable. He doesn't do his
Hmm.
job. Where Murtaugh, being an experienced cop, being a father, understanding, being on the force,
Hmm.
let me just work with him.
I didn't look at it like that. I
Yeah,
never looked
he
at it
did.
like that.
Like, when I saw that scene, the jumping scene, that was a trip. It let you know what's going on in the Riggs head. But Murtaugh was like, he's a fool, but all right, let's work with him. Let's work with him. And he worked.
Yeah.
And he brought him into his house and said, you
Hmm.
want to eat? It was like, he's a father, right? He's a cop.
Mm.
He knows the job. He didn't just throw Riggs out. I bet you a dollar, Ken. I bet you a dollar. If Murtaugh threw Riggs out, Riggs would commit suicide.
You think so?
Yeah, that would have been it, man. If he
Mm.
rejected him, pushed him away, because he even thanked. There was one scene, I believe, he even thanked Murtaugh.
Hmm.
for for putting up with him. And even Murtaugh thanked him for saving his life
Right.
when the guy who got caught into the pool,
The
right?
pool scene.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so he realized he's stable, but he just probably just needs somebody to love him, man.
Right. Some type of guidance, some type of,
Yeah, man.
like you said, family, because he's always been a loner since the situation with his wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really wanted to work with him
Hmm.
that I know of. I don't know.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Now, like I said, going back to that part inside,
Uh-huh.
the dialogue, he was like, you know, he said the first question that he asked him when he got him down, he said, "Do you want to die?" And he was like, "No, no." He said, "No, no, no, no. Answer the question. Do you want to
Yes.
die?"
Yes,
And
he
he
told
said, "Yes." He said, "You know what? No." He said, I even have a special bullet to blow the head
yes.
off."
He has a special bullet for
As
it.
a spec, that means
Wow.
he was carrying around with him. So you can tell
Yeah.
he
Yeah,
was
man.
off. But then he said what he said. He said, "You know why I don't blow my brains out? Because of the
For the
job.
job.
The
Yeah.
job." And like you said,
Every single day I wake up and I think of a reason not to do it every single day. And you know why I don't do it? This is gonna make you laugh. You know why I don't do it? The job. Doing the job. Now that's the reason.
and like you said, referencing back to what he says, it's the job that keeps him from not going
Hmm.
over. But the one thing I know is that during that part, we learned that Riggs has nothing to lose. And then
Yeah.
also it sets the tone for the rest of the partnership that they have together.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like you see them now. Like you said, he comes over to the house, he feels the family,
Yes.
and then next thing you know, they're starting to hang out a little bit more together and they're
Hmm.
enjoying themselves on the job.
Hmm. Hmm.
The state of Riggs is still there, but it's
Hmm.
not as far gone in the beginning as it was now,
Yes. Yes.
which
Yeah.
kind of helps the situation more because now they're able to feel each other out. They're able to know what the next person is going to do, right?
Yes.
And that basically helps them to be basically to take down the villain. Um,
Hmm.
if you go back to the pool scene, right?
Yes.
They're talking, and he says, you shot him. He said the last person you shot or whatever, you shot to kill. And he said, no, all you gotta do is shoot him in the leg. Now we can interrogate him. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
then he's pulling dude up and Roger almost gets fired on,
Yes.
because Mel Gibson was able to put the gun in the air
Right.
and then
Saved his
film
life.
and save
Yeah.
his life. So it's the
Had his
fact that
back. He had
he
his
had
back.
his back. He had his back. So that was a way that the relationship was changing.
Yes,
Um,
it was.
what did you think about the the scene where they are um okay, they went to go back to talk back to Murtaugh's friend,
Hmm.
and he was like, I need names, I need this, I need that. What was your thing about that scene? Because it felt to me like he almost kind of handed his daughter over to them in a way.
So what I realized is, and you mentioned it earlier, Ken, like
Hmm.
the drugs were laced, right?
Hmm.
They did that on purpose. They because he had information
Mm,
about them, and so he was a loose end.
got you.
Okay, and so Murtaugh was like, you were in it on you were in on it somehow, and
Hmm.
if you didn't do what they wanted, they were going to hurt your daughter, and they did, right? And
Hmm.
they did kill him afterwards.
Right. And
They did
the way
kill
he
him.
died was so dumb. It was like he was holding the eggnog like this.
Yes.
It's like, because you can tell it was a jump cut scene because
Yes.
they were talking and all of a sudden it jump cuts to him getting shot.
Yes, it does. It's 80s, man. It's like when you see these movies now, it's like that looks stupid, you know?
Right.
The way
Very
people
dumb.
die. And
Yeah.
Murtaugh rolling on the ground shooting a gun. You couldn't shoot a gun like that. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're an expert. You're not going to hold a gun that steady that is going to shoot. But anyway, it was cool when he did it, right?
It was very cool when
But
he
yeah,
did it.
I think that scene, like, it's just it's a scene where he got caught into something.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like I think about Murtaugh's family and
Hmm.
how he protects his children.
Hmm.
right? He protects them from things. And he's a cop, right? So he knows there are times when the cop life and the family life merge. We see that a lot. People getting
Mm-hmm.
kidnapped, people breaking into their home.
Mm-hmm.
We do see that. And what we, you know what I realize about all of the lethal weapons, what we don't see is his wife telling him, "You need to quit this job. I'm tired of this. You
Mm.
need to retire now.
Right.
This isn't healthy for the family. This
Mm-hmm.
isn't good." You don't see that, and I think the reason is the wife is cool, like, but the reason why I think you don't see that is because the focus isn't on her. It's on Murtaugh being a
Mm-hmm.
father, protecting his family, and being a cop and being a family man.
Right.
So the focus is more on him.
Right.
We're not going to say that his wife doesn't worry or think about it. But I think as a father, and he sees his friend's daughter into it, I
Mm-hmm.
think the goal is that as cops, their job is not just to protect their family, but other families too.
Mm-hmm.
See, the jobs that they do are always bigger than them. Like,
Right.
part two, it was guys who were, it was like guys who were keeping apartheid alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were also drug dealers.
Drug
So it
dealers.
was not only about, and it was around that time, apartheid, right? And it wasn't about just the drug dealers, but these guys are racist. These guys are evil. Like,
Mm-hmm.
these guys are hurting families. Not only are they selling drugs and all that and smuggling, they're hurting families.
They're hurting
So
families.
it's always bigger than them. And every movie, it always seemed to be about a a a cop story or a family story. Part three was
Mm-hmm.
about a dirty cop, right? Hey man, we're
Right.
cops. We got to do right, man. Part four was about protecting the Asian families who were
Mm-hmm.
smuggled and all. So it all is around. Even Leo, like Leo, it was introduced in part two, and Leo became their family, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
was about them protecting the public as cops, but also protecting families and friends.
Protecting family.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, man. Um,
Anyway,
so when it came down to the torture scenes,
ah,
it's like they okay, so to even go back a little bit, so Murtaugh's daughter got kidnapped, right? Like you said,
hmm
something always
that's
happened in these
that's
80s
80s.
movies.
Yes, yes.
The daughter got
We
kidnapped.
got your daughter
You
or
got your
your
daughter.
wife or something.
Dumb stuff, yeah. So she got captured. Then from there, they thought Riggs was dead because of the shot,
Right.
so they go out there to the desert. He meets them. Next thing you know, you see Riggs, you know, capping everyone off. But
Yes.
like he's like far, far away, like pow, 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 killing everybody, right? And if it's like they almost knew that Riggs was still alive just because
They
of the
knew.
shooting.
Hmm
It's
hmm
almost like Joshua knew in a way. He was like, man,
Special
uh,
cop. He's special, sir. Yeah, they know those special
right,
forces.
special force. So they knew. So what made me mad about that scene is that Luann is
Yes, that's made me
okay,
mad
and
too.
I know it's a shootout and it's a firefight. I understand that. I understand that completely. He's telling her, get in the
The
car, get in
car.
the car, get in the car. He's running, she's jumping up and down, she's jumping up and down. No, get your behind in the car. You wasted like 5 minutes that you could have been
hmm
already on the road running away from the uh the
The
helicopter. But
bad guys, the helicopter and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
this is the funny part. When he was like, yeah, let my daughter go. Or we all gonna die, right?
With the grenade.
With the grenade. If you go back and look at it, I don't care. I know he's a dark skinned man, but the dust made him look like gray. His hair, it was like the Just for Men just faded out.
Yes. Poor Mel. Poor Danny Glover. And the whole thing just went bad, right?
It
Because
just went bad.
if Riggs wasn't caught, they would have been. He would have probably. They would have probably escaped.
They probably would escape. They probably would escape. But then one of the guys I felt online, he was like, let's say they did get Riggs' daughter back, right?
Okay.
They were able to cap some of the other people and they were able to get away. They would have been like, would they have really gotten away? Because these people still would have found them and probably still been able to kill them.
Well, remember he had Joshua or Gary Busey in his crosshairs.
Hmm.
And if the guy didn't show up, he would have shot him.
He would have shot him.
So Josh would have been dead. A few of them would have been dead. But yes, they would have to go back to the house and protect themselves
Hmm.
because they know where they live. So I
Right.
think the ones who would have probably still been alive would have been General, what's his name?
McAllister.
McAllister. He would have still been alive. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I think Riggs would have probably sniped them off
Hmm.
enough to get them back and probably put protect the family, be able to put them in custody and prepare for the counter,
Right.
for them whatever comes next. I think,
All right.
but it just went
So
bad, and they got tortured.
it did. The torture scene was so funny because they always use that one Korean or Oriental guy.
Yes, I forgot his name. I think he passed away a few
He
years
did
back.
pass
Yeah,
away. They always use
forgot his
him.
name.
And I forgot
Yes,
his name. He passed away. He was in Big Trouble in Little Chinatown as well.
yes.
And they're always using him. And like he was torturing Riggs. And it was so jokey because you can tell at one point Riggs was faking because he was like, "Oh my gosh, don't do it, don't do it." I got you. You know what I'm saying? But you can tell he was faking, but in actuality, that was his ploy to actually to get close,
Hmm.
snap dude's neck, and then bounce off the chain hook. You know, so it was just kind of crazy because then you start realizing like, man, this is getting tortured. Like he got superpowers or something.
It's it's. I'm glad you brought that scene up because it's so 80s and 90s to capture
Mm-hmm.
the good guy only for them to escape. It's like they got Riggs tied up, getting shocked up with the dumb yellow sponge things, and they got Murtaugh putting salt on his wound. It's like who brings salt there? Just it's so 80s, right? Only for them to escape.
To escape.
Those 80s movies, they meet the guy, they meet the criminal, get it. Oh, we got him. We're gonna have him tied up. Now we got you. You will never get away with this. It's so just like what's Murtaugh with his bloody. You touched my daughter. So what he said.
He said, "You won't be worth spit." Like,
It's so and so again, the vendetta grows. I'm gonna get you. And
mhm.
so they actually are able to escape, but it's so 80s.
So 80s.
The bad guy captured the good guy. How are they going to escape? Of course, they're going to
They're
escape
going to escape.
because the main villain always leaves the room, and says, this guy's going to torture you good. We'll get answers out of you sooner or later. And they said, I'm gonna go over here to this other room and just do
Correct.
aimless stuff. It's
Correct.
so it's so 80s. It's so 80s, and they escape, you know, and they eventually what can
Ah,
they fight back.
they fight back.
I remember that scene. You made me laugh so much. I don't know if you remember the scene when General McAllister, when the car flips over. And guys, if y'all remember that scene, the car flips over and there is cocaine all over the place, grenades. And if you remember, Murtaugh shoots the driver. He
Hmm.
tries to, General McAllister takes control of the wheel. He goes, it was in the alley. He goes to the main street. Bus hits it, flips over. Car
Right.
catches on fire. And Ken, I remember you said the funniest things. What if he tried to get some of the cocaine to throw the fire out? Or what if he was under the car saying, trying to blow the fire out? And every time I see that scene, I can never take it seriously. I can't because you're like, what if he tried to throw the stuff, and put the fire out? It just or blow it. It was the funniest thing. I saw it today. I just couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, this man is about to die and blow up, and I'm laughing at the fact that how you made it anywhere. So he's dead, and him, let's talk about the final fight, man. This fight, it
So with the final fight, right? It was so moving because
is.
nothing like that would never happen.
No, that would
Nothing like
never
that
happen.
would never happen. Just because of the fact that you're fighting for one in the yard. Two, Murtaugh says, this is gonna be Riggs collar. If anything happens, it's on me. And
Yes,
then they're fighting in on the front yard.
that
No,
would happen.
that would
No,
never happen. First of
no.
all, 40. no, it'd have been like 6 or 7 cops jumping on top of this man, and then also putting handcuffs behind his back, and then putting his face in the water. He would have been beat up first. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It would never been no one on one. It would never been no one on one. But like I said, it's movies. So the thing about it is the fact that all this is still going on,
Hmm.
and then he and Joshua and Riggs are fighting. Um, it's almost like kind of same in the beginning, but then all of a sudden Joshua kind of takes advantage. Then I'm saying, Riggs, Riggs, let me get him, Riggs.
And he
No.
Here, let him take him! Come on, let me take him! No, please!
no 80s. But the music, dun, 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 dun. And you're right, Ken. I'm sorry. A, a superior would have said, did you really allow the criminal and the cop to actually get into a fight? What if he died? Like, did you and all your rescue cops stood around? Like,
Yes.
okay, I get it. He killed some cops.
Hmm.
Yes, he did. He would go to jail. But you, and it's not like he resisted arrest. Riggs was like, "You want to see who the champion is?" And now fight again, fighting on a sergeant's front lawn with the helicopter and all the other cops watching like it's a UFC fight. Get him, yeah, man. All right. No, somebody would who's higher up would have saw it. And look, okay, Murtaugh was the highest one in command. This is
Yes, he
my call.
was.
But it doesn't give you the right to have a cage fight on your yard.
You know that remind me of?
What?
You remember that video game Pit Fighter?
Yeah. Yes. But it's 80s, right? The
It's
bad
80s.
guy. That was a terrible game. The bad guy has to fight the good guy,
Right.
right? At the end. It always is like that. Ken, if you ever see the movie, it in these Lethal Weapon movies, one thing I did notice about that scene, something always happens to Murtaugh's house or his car.
I
Some
never looked at that.
yes,
I never looked at that.
part one, the car goes through
Through the
the thing.
house.
Part two,
The
uh,
Was it the boat or
the
was it the
boat
car?
gets messed up.
No, the house got blown up because it was sitting on the toilet.
Yes, the house gets blown up. Part three, I forgot what part three was.
That was the car.
That was the car. And part
Hmm.
four, the house burned.
Yeah, come on. Come on.
Hmm.
Something is always happening to Murtaugh's house or his car. Always. It
I
never
forgot about
fails.
that. I didn't even think about that. I did not think about
It
that.
never fails. So the first one, police car goes to his house.
Hmm. That is right. That is right. All right. So now let's go ahead and take a little bit deeper dive in
Okay.
this movie. One of the things they were saying that you can tell that they were talking about back then was mental health.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't, 80s was 80s. They really didn't uh really focus in on mental health like that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because it was a thing, but it wasn't something that was made well known like it is now.
There wasn't a lot of diagnosis and studies and
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
So you can tell that was one of the meanings kind of behind the movie, mental
Yes.
health. They didn't explore that. Like I said, not a lot of that was explored in action movies
Yes.
back in the 80s.
No, not at all.
Um, we also discussed, like you said, right now, when it come down to Murtaugh and Riggs, how the family kind of blocked out the loneliness that he had going on, which
Mm-hmm.
was a great thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And like we talked about earlier, no, like nobody really thinks this is a 80, I mean a Christmas movie, but it was
During the
taking place
Christmas
during
season.
Christmas, the
Yes,
season. So I kind of feel that kind of helped out with the
it did.
situation of bringing him into the family
Yes.
because he was alone. So that kind of helped out too. And their relationship kind of balanced each other out. You got somebody that's crazy, then you got somebody that's calm, and then you also have them both sides growing at the same time too.
Mm-hmm.
So the partnership it balanced each other's out. So what is a funny part for you in this movie?
Well, look, but let me back up real quick. I want
Okay.
to talk about what you said about the mental health.
Okay.
And that's the funny part. I I want to discuss how there was a villain
Hmm.
and there were two obstacle villains. If I were to say,
Okay.
this is what I mean. Okay, so you have the villain, you have Joshua, you have the special force, corrupt forces, selling drugs,
Hmm.
right? You will always have that. But what you had in part one is obstacles. So villains is somebody that's against the antagonist, right? There were three villains.
Hmm.
Okay. The villain, Joshua and his men, right? The main villain. But there were also two other villains. Now, you already mentioned one, Ken, mental illness.
Hmm.
Riggs' mental illness was part of him dealing with his own internal issues,
Mm.
right? He had to overcome that in order to really win the battle.
Okay.
To really win the villains, you have to overcome the internal battle too,
Okay.
right? So guess what Murtaugh's villain was? Time.
Mm.
Old.
Okay.
He
Okay.
was time. That's why he kept saying, I'm too old for this, right? His
Mm.
thing was more about time. He was an older man. He had a family to worry about, a family to think he wasn't young anymore. And so you sort of mentioned it. Riggs kind of kept him on his toes. Riggs
Correct.
kept him younger,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
And so Murtaugh had time, but he didn't have much. He was getting old.
Mm.
And so in his old ways, it's almost like, how am I gonna go on? I got a family to take care of, look after.
Right.
And so that's like, I'm just too old for this. And in part four, Riggs had to come
It's
to the
saying that.
realization,
Hmm.
right? You got to accept it.
I mean, I'm
We're too
only.
old.
Jesus.
You owe me. Can't beat the clock, Briggs.
Well, if he's right, I mean, we're dinosaurs. What am I gonna do?
Accept it. Like I do.
We're too old for this,
Hmm.
right? But I think what Riggs did to Murtaugh is spark the reason why he's on the force, to keep going, to keep fighting, to keep doing what he's doing. And Riggs overcame his villain or his internal villain by
Hmm.
the love of Murtaugh and his family that welcomed Riggs in with open arms. Matter of
Hmm.
fact, man, the deepest lethal weapon to me, I thought was part three when they got into it,
Mm. Yes. 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 Yes.
right? And then because Murtaugh killed the boy,
Right.
and Riggs like, you're selfish. You're selfish, Murtaugh. Your kids are my kids. I I have children and they're your children. We're in this
Hmm.
together. You're my friend. We're brothers.
You don't kill
Hmm.
a boy like Nick. You selfish bastard! You selfish bastard! You're just thinking about yourself, goddammit. What about me? Huh? We're partners. We're partners. What happens to you happens to me. It's not my problem. Yes, it is. It's not my problem. You're the only family I got. I got three beautiful kids. I love them. They're yours. Trish does my laundry. I live in your icebox. I live in your life. What am I gonna do? What am I
Hmm.
supposed to
Don't do this alone. You're selfish. You can't. How dare you do this? We're in it together. Your children are my children. Your problem is my problem. And the
Hmm.
relationship kept growing and growing. And even in part four, they were so close. It was like, will it to me, Riggs. Will it to me. They were so tight. Like, and think about this, Ken. These two old fools taking on Jet Li. No, no. That's part four. But the point
Yes.
was, they got the upper hand. They still were together, and they had children. The grandchildren were having babies.
Hmm.
Riggs was getting married and having a baby. And at the end of the movie, the song "Why Can't We Be
Be
Friends?"
friends.
It was all
Yep.
about family and
Hmm.
bonding, right? Even Leo, right? So yeah.
So let me trip you out about this one.
Okay. Okay.
Since you talk about that,
Okay.
remember I talked about superpowers earlier?
Yes.
Riggs and Murtaugh had a superpower.
Which was it? Yeah, I want to hear this
So if
one.
you go back to each one of the lethal weapons, when Murtaugh is about to shoot, what does he do? That's the
Yeah.
first.
No way you live. No way.
superpower.
That
If you go
brother can
back to
shoot.
if you go back to every movie, he does that
Yes.
special.
Yes.
It was if there was able to make like another like Lethal Weapon video game, and you had to basically put in like the inputs, that
Yeah.
would be a special move to basically make a dead on shot, right? So
Yes.
that's the one thing. With Riggs, his special moves was, I mean, his special power was the the ability not to die, if you really think about
Yeah.
it. Because it's like in the first one,
That's
Joshua almost
true.
happened. The second one, the guy from he was a Green Beret
Yes.
and he was whooping whooping Mel
Yeah.
Gibson. You know what I'm saying? The third one, it really wasn't too much fighting on Mel Gibson part on that one.
There,
But then
what with that armor piercing bullets?
yeah.
Yes.
But then yeah, and then after that you had to fight Jet Li. Like you really fought Jet Li. Like so it was like a situation to where they had superpowers. That's why I
That's
felt
so
like
true.
it's so crazy to me. If you go through all those movies, everybody, those two had superpowers.
Yes.
He had the one shot because when he hit Joshua's driver, he did that same move.
And part two, diplomatic immunity on that high part. Hit the dude right in the head. Has just been revoked. I mean, and he does and the man see him aiming at him, move. He stood. He didn't think he would actually shoot him.
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
And then so that one right there too. So
Mm-hmm.
so we already talked about the deeper meaning, which I like
Yes.
your deeper meaning on that. That's cool. I never thought about that. Never analyzing it that way. Um, going
He's,
back to
but you
like
asked me the
your
funny part. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
no, yeah, going back to your
Uh-huh.
to like the favorite movie, the not favorite movie, but the favorite scene. What was your favorite scene in the movie?
The Lethal Weapon 1.
Hmm.
The part when they were when they were in the shooting range and Murtaugh did the thing, boom. You look at that, and then Riggs hits the thing, and it goes all the little the target, and it goes all the way to the back.
Hmm.
Boom, 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 boom. Made a happy face on the thing.
Have a nice day.
On the thing. Like this fool must be dead shot, right? Like he made
He was cool. That was
like
cool.
that. I'm like, yo, that was cool. That
Hmm.
I thought that scene was cool
That was
because
real
what
cool.
it showed was like them getting along, but it
Hmm.
showed that these guys are skilled. Like these guys can put you down.
Right, fast. And that was the thing.
Yes.
They could put you down fast. I think my funniest scene was um when they try to go find Dixie. And so
Yes. Go
they
ahead.
got out the car and they were like, uh-oh, they're gonna bust Dixie. The little kids, they're gonna bust
Yes.
Dixie. I know I'm not gonna be able to say the words. So the house blows up, right? Boom. House blows up. Raj jumps on Riggs' back, right? Now the thing is, 80s, they used to say anything that came out their mouths. But if if you are watching, if you go back and watch it, he says like, "What are you doing, man? You a," and he
Yeah.
said, "No, man."
Ah,
He said, "No,
going
man."
in the 80s. Yes.
He's like, "No, man, you on fire. You on fire." You know what I'm saying? Like he kind of asked him like, "You funny, man? You funny?" He was like, "No, man, you on fire, man. You on fire." So they get up and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And I used to think of myself like, this is the 80s. Them churn had looked so bad with those costumes on. Whatever they had on. He had
80s,
on
man.
oh my gosh.
Dude with the little glass with the little shade with the
Oh man, I
that
would have
was
never.
80s.
Oh my gosh. So that was my point right there. The house blew up. The little kids, which kind of added like a little flair to it, which was funny.
Yes.
And then that was one of my favorite scenes in the movie too.
Yeah, I and of course the jumping scene with then with Murtaugh getting mad.
Yeah. You know, so funny, right? When
uh,
you go, if you go back and watch it, as he runs up on Riggs, Riggs is like, "What you doing, man?" He's like, "Don't touch me, don't touch me." He was like, "Come, he's like, follow me," and he's following behind him, right? And you can see the news lady that's trying to come in front of him. He mushes her out of the way, boom,
oh, I didn't see that.
and then because he tried to get in front of him to get a statement. If you go back and look, all of a sudden he just bow, and he runs through her. And if you slow it down, you can hear him say to the painter, "Excuse me," grab him, throws him out. Get in there! Ah! You know what I'm saying? So that will always be a funny scene.
Yes.
And then the shooting at the gun range and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Um, what was the funniest line for you in this movie?
Hmm. I don't know if I have one yet.
You want to hear mine?
Which one is yours, Ken?
When he got done eating from them, and he was like, "You love my wife's cooking?" Nah. It's like he was so
I gotta
honest with
see that
him.
scene again.
He was
Dang.
so honest with him. He was like, "So you like my wife's cooking?" He was like, "Nah." Like straight
Dang.
up, nah, I don't like white.
Wow.
Because you could tell she was not a cook. Even when it was trying to cook the eggs, he was finding shells in the eggs. I was like, oh my gosh. Like he couldn't, man, that thing was crazy. I was like, oh, that's one of my funniest. And he was like straight up with him, like, no, I don't like your wife's cooking. Your wife's cooking is trash. You know what I'm saying? Since since you don't got one. Let's all right. So we basically at the end. So
Yeah.
to rate this movie, um, out of a 10, what would you give Lethal Weapon now?
I would still give it a 10.
Still give it a 10.
Yeah, because I mean, like Lethal Weapon had four sequels that were really good, and they tried to do a series. And
With
I
Damon
don't know if they're
Wayans.
trying to do another one. I don't know.
Mm.
I heard, but I don't know. It was its own thing because
Hmm.
look, the 80s is not derivative of anything, right? These certain some of these movies, like you have a cop duel, and everybody else wanted to do the cop duel thing. It
Hmm.
was just so gritty and 80. You don't see that anymore, really.
No.
You don't see the cop duel thing anymore. You just don't do it because if you tried to do it, you could only mimic Lethal Weapon.
Hmm.
You could only mimic. I don't know which came out first, 48 Hours or Lethal Weapon. I don't remember.
I think 48 Hours came out first.
48 Hours came out first,
Yeah, I want
but
to say
it
48 Hours
wasn't.
came out first.
It was a cop movie, but it wasn't like this.
Hmm.
Yeah, Tangle and Cat, different things, but everything is gonna just mimic Lethal Weapon.
It
I would still
does.
give it a 10. I enjoyed all of them. I enjoyed
Yeah,
all of them.
I would say that too. Because it was a good movie. The action was there. You really, like I said, it was action, and then it was suspense, and then it was what is Murtaugh going to do next, or what is Razor going to do next. So it brought you in. Um, Matter of fact, no, 48 Hours was made first. It was born.
Okay.
That 40 Hours was made in 1982. So maybe
Okay.
they took that from 48 Hours to
Maybe.
create. Maybe so that was a thing. So I
Well,
mean,
who do you remember the most? What do you remember most? 48 Hours or Lethal Weapon?
I do remember Lethal Weapon more. And it could probably be different for us and other people because they probably remember 48 Hours first, That's because it did come out first. But yeah, man. So I just feel like this was a good movie. I still would give it a 10. Versus anything now, I think I still would give it a 10 because of the action, the mental stability. You know what I'm saying? Those things right there kind of draw people in.
Yeah.
So I still would, if they had like another cop duo movie out, I still would pick this one just because of how it is. So yeah, I would still pick this one. 10 out of 10 for me when it comes down to it. And you say 10 out of 10 too.
Yes,
All
definitely.
right, all right. So folks, we have covered once again
Lethal
another cult
Weapon.
classic, Lethal Weapon.
It was a shorter one, but
It was Yeah, man. It was a shorter one, but it was a shorter one that was, you know,
Really good.
needed.
Yeah,
Real
needed.
good, needed,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
different genre to give. Um, Comedy, action,
Yeah.
suspense, thriller, So it was a good movie. We discussed it tonight. I hope you enjoy it when it comes out. But like I said, thank you so much for once again being a part of Real Ones Only. Do these three things for us: like, comment, subscribe. You're on all major platforms, which is TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
Hmm.
and YouTube. Check us out. Also, comment as much as you want. If you need some information, like trying to figure out what really happened in the movie, or something that you didn't really even know about,
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
put a comment in and we'll find it out for you. No, no doubt. We are movie connoisseurs.
Yes. Love it.
We love it. We love it. But once again, my name is Kenyatta Mitchell, host of Real Ones Only.
And I'm Joel Brown, co-host of Real Ones Only, and I'm
Mhm.
too old for this stuff.
Take
Peace.
care, people. Take care.